So this segment is on business to consumer e-commerce, obviously a very growing area in retailing. So let's look at e-commerce. So a recent survey showed that in the U.S., approximately 72% of Americans consider themselves to be accomplished online shoppers, which is a little bit less than we see in China, but about similar to the UK. So we know that this is important, right? Because we want to be sure that consumers feel comfortable making transactions online. So I would like you to think for a minute. Why do you shop online? Did you say convenience? Did you say it's quicker, easier? Maybe you can compare products better. Maybe you can access a wider assortment of products. Let's look at what a recent survey showed. So this looks at US shoppers and global shoppers, but most of the results are pretty similar. When it comes to online shopping, convenience is the biggest issue or the biggest benefit for a whole variety of reasons. One, people can shop whenever they want. Maybe it's 1 in the morning and you remember you need that thing. Low prices and better offers, right? It's easy to search for coupon codes. It's easy to compare offers from different retailers. For a lot of people, they feel like it's quicker than visiting shops. It's simpler than visiting shops. Even take Walmart's online grocery shopping that you can then pick up. They have a pretty effective system that saves consumers' favorite products. And so it's very simple for them to go in and click the products that they buy every single week. It's quick, it's easy, and they don't have to spend any time in the store itself. A lot of times we see that we can find better variety online. Consider Amazon and the just wide, vast assortment of products that you can find on Amazon. You can find things on Amazon that might be unavailable elsewhere. We might see this a lot in rural areas as well, where you might not have the wide variety of physical stores to shop at. Some people like it for being able to find product information and compare specifications for different products, which could be important. And some other things that I've heard from students that are not on this survey, one that seems to come up more and more frequently is, I just don't want to have to interact with people, which I think is a very curious one, and is curious that it continues to come up. So I do wonder if anyone in this class feels that way as well. So when we think about the benefits of e-commerce and shopping online, again, we see some similar things here for the benefits to the consumer that your textbook talks about compared to the survey. You don't have to travel. You can shop 24 hours a day. How many of you have thought of something you needed and simply gone onto Amazon and bought it through Prime, knowing it would be at your door in 2 days because you just didn't want to have to take the time to go to the store? Right? It's very quick to get information about products, wide variety of choices. Certainly, you can, if you are in less developed countries, you might have wider access to products. And Amazon has certainly created this expectation of fast delivery, right? How many of you have gone to purchase something and saw that the shipping was going to take 10 business days or 5 to 10 business days, and you opted to pay a little bit more to get the quicker shipping instead of waiting like a whole week to get your product? For the marketer, right, we have more access to consumers. We are not limited by our physical locations, so we can sell to anyone in the world. This can decrease our costs of doing business. If you think about stores that are exclusively online now, they have no rent. They maybe, of course, they have a warehouse, but you would have that anyways. You have perhaps fewer employees that you need to be paying. We also see that very specialized businesses can succeed. Even think like a seller on Etsy. Okay, and then real-time pricing, which is covered a little bit in the pricing chapter when you think about dynamic pricing, that I can change those prices whenever I want, or I can even have an automated system set up to change prices in response to other types of events. In terms of limitations for e-commerce, lack of security can be a big issue, especially for older consumers who are maybe less trusting of online shopping. There is a risk of fraud, of course, but one of the big ones is that you can't touch and feel the items that you're buying. So we see this a lot with things like clothing and shoes and things that you really just want to be able to try before you buy. So millennials are a big market for retailers. So let's look briefly at millennials.
They have higher expectations than prior generations, value transparency, favor convenience over price, and shop via mobile more than any other group. They're millennials, aged 18 to 34, a very desirable consumer group for sure, but also one that brands have to work harder to attract and keep. Born after 1980, digital natives grew up with technology at their fingertips, which makes them savvier with all things digital. It's no surprise then that millennials use their mobile devices as shopping tools far more than older shoppers. Almost 40% buy products online monthly, while close to 30% shop online weekly. And they use their smartphones more frequently than tablets, while about 2/3 of shoppers over 35 don't use either. More than 1/3 of millennials agree that their smartphones will become their main purchasing tool in the future. Already, more than 80% use their mobile devices while shopping in store versus 55% of shoppers over 35 to access digital coupons, research products, check prices, and pay for purchases. Beyond technology, millennials are also unique in their high expectations for brands. Our 2016 Total Retail Survey confirmed that brand trust is among the top 3 reasons consumers shop at their favorite retailers. Millennials are even more committed to brand leaders than older shoppers. While all shoppers value price above all else, millennials are less price conscious at 59% than older shoppers at 73%. And they're more brand loyal, interacting more with their favorite brands than older shoppers do. Consumers, especially millennials, want leading brands to be transparent about process, labor, ingredients, and materials to protect consumer privacy and treat employees well. They also favor companies that are innovative in the approaches they take to make the world a better place. Generation Z, meanwhile, people born after millennials, are more brand savvy. These young consumers' awareness of entertainment, computer, mobile, and social media brands is upwards of 80%. Having grown up with online shopping, millennials also place a premium on free shipping over discount prices when deciding on a loyalty program, the reverse of shoppers over 35 who rank discounts first. As members of the I want it now generation, they are also more likely to pay for expedited shipping than older shoppers. They also rely more heavily on peer reviews online, which accounts for their ranking of ease of checkout higher than knowledgeable sales associates. Again, the reverse of shoppers over 35. For millennials, price is only one component of the purchasing process, and it often takes a backseat to a host of other attributes, including convenience, brand reputation, and authenticity. They've raised the bar for brands, but they're also more willing to pay a premium for perceived value. Brands have to work harder to attract and retain them, but those companies that make the effort will ultimately reap the rewards.
So, do any of those observations ring true for you? And consider, do you think that the growth of online shopping will mean the death of brick and mortar stores as we know them? This always seems to be a controversial discussion point. Some people tend to think that this will absolutely mean the death of brick and mortar stores, and others do not. Interestingly, what we are seeing is that while online shopping is growing, we are also seeing an increased interest in movements like Buy Local and Know Your Farmer. And so it seems unlikely that anytime in the near future we we will truly see the death of brick and mortar stores altogether. Though we have seen some what I call death by Amazon instances, such as Toys R Us, um, or perhaps The Limited, who closed all of their physical locations and moved everything online. And consider, how is retailing changing as we speak? We are in turbulent times, and what we're seeing with retailing is that retailers are both incredibly important as we speak, but also having incredible challenges. Certainly, supply chain is an issue right now. Things being out of stock is a huge issue. Figuring out how to safely have customers in the store can be an issue. And so I think that on the other side of all the things going on right now, we may see that some dramatic changes have occurred. We will likely see small retailers, local businesses that have gone out of business despite government intervention. We may see that other bigger retailers, especially with those that have an online presence, may come out of this even stronger than they were before. When we get back to a new normal, how do you think retailing may be more permanently changed?